whatever, we are planning a national strike for January 27th on Monday. Please, national strike does not mean protests. We are not calling you to go to the streets. We already know you are handicapped in that section. We already know that you are limited. You already know that they've sold you fear. We already know that they've sold you surrender. So, please, a national strike does not mean you show up in the streets. We've not even given a venue. But we know it's the government propaganda who are trying to hoodwink us. They're trying to project that I'm calling for protest. No, I'm telling you to stay at home as a strategy. As a strategy to choke, to hemorrhage resources from the government that continues to oppress us. That's the strategy. That's the objective. That's the plan. You're not going to work so that on that particular day, we want the government to feel the pinch. We want the government to feel the pinch of not having to collect revenue, because you won't be fueling, you won't be spending, you won't be purchasing stuff, you won't be going to work. We want Kenyans to feel we want the country, we want the exchequer to feel the pain of their continued oppression. We want the government, because they only understand two languages. The first one is violence. The second one is money. We want to fuck with the government's money, because they can't just be looting like this with reckless abandon as we keep quiet, as if we were born to be raising money for them. So that right now you've seen and you've heard that Susan Keheka, the governor of Nakuru, can go to give birth in America because she doesn't trust the very system she's supposed to be overseeing. She's supposed to be overseeing the health sector in Nakuru. I should be able to move from Nairobi to Nakuru if I'm sick, because it has been built or it has been funded with my taxes. But what does this psychotic lady do? She goes to give birth in America. She goes to, what kind of contempt do these leaders have? Like, they think it's going to be business as usual, that you're going to steal? You're going to steal money and then you go and give birth in a foreign nation and you think it's going to be business as usual? I'm wondering what's wrong with Nakuru MCAs. Nakuru MCAs, I am giving you an ultimatum. You need to pass a motion to impeach Susan Keheka. That is the biggest fuck you that the political class have shown us in recent years. That you're going to give birth in America. You want your child to get citizenship in America. While as you destroy Kenya, as you destroy our country, no. You political elites, you've become too much. Too much. Umekuwa maumbwa sana. Na tumewanyamazia sana nyinyi maumbwa. We are first going to go for the money. So listen here. This is not during lockdown, during curfew, during COVID, where you are told before you go, you have to go and buy a mzinga, you have to go and buy tissue papers. During COVID, first of all, why were you idiots buying toilet papers? Nini? Mulikuwa nakunia. What was the obsession with toilet papers during COVID? You guys were almost killing each other in the supermarkets during COVID. So these are the measures that you can take in the run-up to January 27th, when we are going to have the national strike. You understand? Stop consumer spending, especially taxable items. You can go and support your mama mboga. You can go and support anyone who does not add VAT to their work. So avoid your supermarkets, avoid the shops that are, tax compliant and whatnot, or ETR compliant and whatnot. So it doesn't mean that before January 27th, ati sasa uingia kwa uchukue mizinga mbili so that you chill in the house. It is a sacrifice. We are all sacrificing. We are all feeling the pain. We are all feeling the pinch of the Kenya Kwisha shit show. So this is not the time now for you to go and stock up stuff, because when you're stocking up that shit, you're still going to be paying taxes, and the objective here is to hemorrhage resources from the exchequer. Already we have seen good reports that within the last 6 months, KRA has fallen short of their revenue target by 163 billion. We need to double that amount within 1 month. Is it possible? It is possible if we collectively work together. So we double. If it's 163, we want within the next 1 month, they lose the same amount of money. The money that they lost in 6 months, now they lose in 1 month. So it's a fast track process. Because you can see, did you see how much money they have inflated? Like 142 billion shillings. That's the amount of money that has been allocated to the deputy president's office. What has that motherfucker done? What has Kithure Kindiki done? Other than hosting meetings and just doing rubbish. buying new vehicles. Huh? That's the guy who killed Gen Zs. Kithure Kindiki is a murderer who killed Gen Zs. Why is he being funded to the tune of 142 billion? What the fuck? So listen here. Our objective is to hemorrhage money from the exchequer. You are told or you are advised to avoid spending that will make money for the government. So this is a time for sacrifice. If you drink soda, you know soda is deductible. Avoid soda. Avoid anything that you don't need. Avoid anything that is not a necessity. So that by the time we are getting to January 27th, there is some impact. There is a hole they are filling in their pockets, in the government accounts. So you do that. These are some of the measures I'm telling you start. So you start by whatever. Start by not spending money on tax deductible items. So this is the time we call for people to be creative, be innovative. Remember, we were once the hub of Africa, or humanity has grown because of cottage industries, because people started doing things on their own. I saw a lady on TikTok, please, I've forgotten your name, but keep up the good work. She's making mead. She's making alcohol in her own house. She's doing honey. She does pineapple peels, and then she seals it, and then it ferments, and then she makes her own alcohol. So we are headed there. We are headed there because this is even where governments like the Iranian government, who have undergone sanctions and whatnot, like the South African government, which underwent sanctions because of the apartheid, and even Russia right now has undergone international sanctions. But even within the space of sanctions, that's when they have prospered. That's when they have risen, because that era triggers creativity. They say necessity is a mother of creation, or creativity, or want, or whatever. So it is now up to you. Whatever you used to depend on because of your laziness, whatever you used to depend on in your store, you have to start making it on your own. So if you used to depend on buying bread, start making your own bread. Start eating chapo. Start eating ugali for breakfast. Start supplementing the sources of your diet. Because if they are going to hold us hostage by the food chain, by manipulating the food chain, because they are going to stop domestic producers, domestic farmers from growing anything, they are trying to impose taxes. I showed you the highlights of the finance bill 2025, and they want to tax all farmers' earnings from the sales, especially of the cash crops. So if they are going to hold us hostage based on agriculture, if they don't want us to grow our own food, if they don't want us to do our own stuff, this is the time you're supposed to accelerate, you're supposed to inject. So if you depend on juice, make your own juice. If you depend on going to the supermarket to buy even groceries, grow your own shit. Start watching TikToks of people who do agroponic farming or whatever, or they do in their balconies, and then they grow stuff, they grow cabbages and the things they use every day, or veggies. This is the journey to self-sufficiency. I know others have gone extreme and gone off grid and whatnot. In the meantime, as we are saying, if you need some things, do them, use them. But if you don't need them, for instance, bread, if you don't need the bread, if bread will be used, will be weaponized by the government, that every time they'll be saying, oh, we have reduced the price of wheat, we have reduced the price of hunger, we have reduced the price of I don't know what. Those are political tools which they use, which they activate, especially when they have a political interest. So the wheat will be high all through the year. And then just before the elections or just before they do something, then they reduce it. So they'll keep on manipulating these prices, holding you hostage because you haven't learned the art of self-sufficiency. It is possible for you to survive without some things. I have asked you during COVID, why the hell were you guys fighting over buying toilet paper? What were you doing it for? You see, you are being triggered. It is all mob psychology. It is all peer pressure. So, for you, before January 27th and the next successive national strikes that we are going to be having. We are planning them on every Monday. We are going to be having a national strike. So even before then, we need to see a reduction of your dependence on consumables, on consumer spending, on spending time in the supermarket, so that you make your own food. You improvise your own breakfast or your own diet away from taxable goods. If now they want to take VAT to 18%, they are not going to zero rate anything, including the essentials, including the medicals. They don't want to zero rate anything. So they have understood that you're dependent, you're reliant, you're addicted to these so-called essentials. So what we do, show them you're not dependent on it. Show them you're not carried away, you are unfazed by their theatrics. Will they weaponize food against us? Will they use food as a tool, as a political tool for expediency, for extending their shelf life, which already expired on June 25th? No. So these are the steps that you're going to take. Anything that is tax deductible. Why we are zeroing in on that day, on one particular day, is because then you won't fuel. So please, before that day, don't go and fill up your tanks. You can see they have increased fuel. Next month, they want to increase fuel levy by 10 shillings. You understand? So you reduce your dependence on places where they are going to deduct. If it's alcohol, must you be an alcoholic? And you try smoking marijuana for once. If you must get high. But you'll realize you don't need this shit. If KEABL is the biggest taxpayer, and they're paying taxes without even requiring or demanding how our taxes is going to be used, without even supporting other people, we've never seen the CSR initiatives of these companies which religiously pay taxes, which religiously remit. They remit your deductions from your paychecks. So these corporates, we've never seen what they do in CSR. So stop thinking that you will die without drinking a beer. Stop thinking that you will die without eating a loaf of bread. Make your bread. Eat ugali. Eat githeri for breakfast if you must. You understand? You won't die if you eat these foods. Secondly, we've been talking about the low-income earners and the slum dwellers. There is a continuous attempt to always divide us, and they have always taken the bait. Slum dwellers, I see them talking when they are in the Bunge la Wananchi, where that idiot called Omosh 1 Hour and Gaucho are always there. You're stupid idiots, both of you. In fact, Bunge la Wananchi should expunge Gaucho and Omosh 1 Hour. All of them, those are frauds, those are conmen, those are Raila stooges. And this other idiot who was fighting with Oscar Sudi. I've forgotten his name. So, I have seen and heard that rhetoric where the slum dwellers tend to, harbor some contempt for the middle class and the working class. The same people who have employed them based on narratives that they are fed by their politicians. For instance, the people of Kibera and other slums, they stayed away from the Gen Z protests because they were pushing the narrative that, these protests, niza wadosi, niza nini. So now, in our attempt to liberate this country, because don't forget that these masses are weaponized. They are weaponized by the political establishment against the middle class, because they are the ones who are paid to attend political rallies. They are the ones who are paid to vote. They told line here, Shikeni Pesa, you normally see that. They are the ones who are told don't go for protests, but they participate in protests which have been convened by politicians. You understand? So, for the working class, if you're watching this video, if you're recording this video and you're sharing it on TikTok, for the working class, if you're working class, and you have somebody who you pay on a regular, could be your watchman, could be your house help, could be your somebody who resides in Nairobi or somewhere else, but does not maybe sleep in your house, is not your dependent, somebody who goes and comes. If you have a place where you normally go and support people who then can be weaponized against us. You saw during the protests, border people were convened by politicians. Well, one of that politician is an MCA somewhere, or used to be an MCA. I saw him on a photo circulating with Kafogo, the new CS who has been issuing cheap threats and empty rhetoric. William Kabogo, just the other day, you came out from obscurity. You've been in the political cold for I don't know how many years, and now suddenly you are issuing threats. Are you fucked in the head? Kwani uko na panya kwa kichwa, wewe, William Kabogo? Kawena gui motue. Turn down, sit, enjoy your position right now. Because you don't know whether you'll still be having it next month. Stop talking up, talking down. We don't want to hear you. By the way, Kabogo makes me sick, man. When he was the Kiambu governor, I used to go to many events and he was there and his fake British accent. Kabogo, you disgust me. If you shut up, man, just keep quiet. You haven't even stayed a week. Hata wiki moja ijaisha, wewe umbwa, wewe shoga wewe. Wiki moja ijaisha. Chanza, we are going to social media. Can't you find something you can deliver? Don't tell us what you're going to close. Can't you tell us what you're going to open? I'm going to open ICT center. I'm going to open an ICT hub. I'm going to open this. I'm going to introduce that. Can you tell us that can you show us deliverables, tangibles? Stop telling us you're going to close. Now you're becoming like Sakaja and his little cocksucker called Geoffrey Mosiria. Geoffrey Mosiria can only show us what he has closed. I have closed this restaurant. I have demolished all these businesses. I have demolished their signage. He can only show us that. He cannot show us, we have resuscitated Nairobi River is now clean. We have now cleaned the garbage. We have whatever the drainages. We have fixed the drainages. We have done the culverts. He cannot show us that. He can only show us what he has demolished, what he has destroyed. And this is a culture which is prevalent with boomers. Boomers only know how to destroy, not to build. That's why Kenya has become an import economy. We are import dependent. We are importing even matchboxes because this stupid generation of boomers don't know anything else. And boomers have also nurtured, they have also mentored a generation of young people of our age. People who just think of demolishing an idiot like that sucker called Geoffrey Mosiria. And so Geoffrey Mosiria goes, my name is Geoffrey Mosiria. Naenda kufunga club. Tumebomoa mabiashara za Nairobi. You see, this is another thing with Nairobi business people. You've always been holding us hostage during the protests. You've always been saying that si ndio tunaharibia biashara. Sasa, mimi ndio Mosiria nimekuja kutolea signage kwa duka. Si mulikuwa mnasema ni Gen Z wanamuharibia duka, wanamuharibia kazi. You are always saying that protesters are the ones who are ruining your business. Mimi niliona even at Pizza Inn. Pizza Inn wameenda wameng'olewa signage yao kwa barabara. Now notice, what imefanywa tu Kiundudo. These guys go and collect goons. And don't forget, you business people in CBD, paka mulikuwa mumetuandikia eti ma watchman, mumetuandikia magoons huko, ati tunakuja sasa mimi naiba duka yako, wewe unaiba unauza charger za China, naiba nini, inipeleke wapi? You see, Nairobi business people, I told you, your economic prosperity does not begin where my freedoms end, where my constitutional rights end. We are all moving together. We are all moving at the same pace. Usifikiri ati wewe unaachwa nyuma ama wewe utaenda mbele ati sasa ujisaidie sana. Everyone is suffering. Everyone is suffering. You are seeing all these stories that are coming up. Oh, this person was broke. Caliph Cairo, you saw him the other day. Caliph Cairo was living large. He was living well, but the economy has gone south. So amepatia huyu gari, huyu ajamlipa, and then huyu amemlipa down payment. So zinaenda hivyo zina accumulate siku moja tu the center cannot hold anymore. So the economy is going bust, but we are hiding behind all these narratives and talk. Oh, sijui huyu atainuka, this one will recover. No, you're not going to recover. Wacha kudanganywa na watu. If you take a sleep like this, it's downhill from there. Not unless we take collective action. You understand? We take and we move together. We move with purpose, with intention. Until you get that in your thick heads, you'll just be perambulating round the same point. Niliona paka Aziad. Msichana, matako. Ni kama nini? Ni kama mwezi. Shining. Na ati hana pesa. That was the biggest shocker. Hapo ndio nilijua. Hapo, that's when I knew the economy is in the red. When the top influencer, we are not talking about bottom of the barrel people. We are talking about the top influencer in Kenya. Hana kakitu. Hana kakiru. Aziad Nasenya. Hana kakiru. And so, you know, we tend to laugh, we tend to joke. But this is the science. This is how it goes. Influencers in America, the ISO Speed, the Kai Senat, and all other influencers, even OnlyFans, guys are making money in the millions of dollars. But the influencer industry is going bust. They are barely surviving. They are hiding. They are resorting to unconventional means. Wengine kuna ma side hustle. Lakini cash yenye inatoka kwa influencing inaenda ikididimia. Pole pole, day by day. So Aziad, tumeona ametoka, akona madeni, hakulipa nani, sijui zilienda, Na ukiangalia, you know, I saw a document, I saw a blog from Zimbabwe saying that there is a guy called Sir Wicknell Chavayo. He came and saw Ruto when Ruto was na huko up country. Sasa zenye alikuwa kwa ile nyumba aliiba ya nani, ya Murambi, that guy who was the vice president of Kenya. Si aliiba nyumba yake na huko Narok na huko Masai Mara somewhere, Kilgoris or somewhere, if I'm not wrong. So there is that guy, ni munono, sio kama mimi sio mnono hivyo. That guy ame dish, ame sosi kuruka. So that guy came and saw Ruto. Then a week later, the Zimbabwean blogs are saying that he smuggled gold into Kenya. Now, mimi nimekuwa kiangalia watu wa wash na munawajua. Naona siku hizi hawana ile liquidity walikuanga nayo zamani. Kumbe Ruto ni yeye alichukua paka hiyo kazi. Yaani Ruto amepenya kila mahali, sio kwa wash, sio kwa nani. Na those guys wash tulikuwa tunawapenda kwa sababu they used to keep this social life afloat. Walikuwa wanawalipia mavitu, wanawanunulia, wanawapeleka shopping, ma road trips, ma international Dubai, nini France. Mulikuwa mnafanya hiyo kazi yote na mulikuwa tunafurahia sana. Ili tukue entertain. Sisi kazi yetu ni kuona matako, nyash. So we now understand that it's the wash guys who are bankrolling these influencers. And now that they are broke, the influencers, we call it the socialite industrial complex, has started crumbling. Cracks have started emerging. The ground is shaky. So, mimi tukakuja kukumbe William Ruto, hiyo ndio kazi sasa ameingilia kila mahali. Ametuingilia kwa wakulima. Ameingilia nani? Ameingilia pande ya mafuta. He's everywhere. Because you understand, William Ruto has a deficiency. He can't generate wealth. He has no ideas. He's clueless. So kitu anajua ni kuiba idea ya watu wengine. Sasa watu wa wash wenye yeye alikuwa anawasupport when he was vice president or deputy president, sasa amefikia kazi yao. Sasa tunaona huku watu hawana mara. Watu wenye walikuwa na mikiki. Hatuwaoni wakiwa in Kikuyu tunaita megudha. Uko na nini ile joto. Unajua Kibeti ikiwa unakuanga na joto, unaingia kwa bar mahali unasema wale wapewe wamekaa. Wale wa mama wazungushiwe round moja. Waiter, chafua for Maika. Sasa tunaona genge la wash hawana kakitu. Kumbe Ruto na ndio nawaambia hata nyinyi watu wa wash, hata nyinyi ma socialite, please join these movements. You don't know this guy, you don't know the desperation. This guy has been in the system since 1992. He has been an elected official of the government since 1997. He knows everything that needs to be known, whether clean or legit. So, not unless wewe ni muhindi kama Jayesh Saini can go and negotiate with him. Now I am opening this hospital, it's called Nairobi Hospital. I can give you shares over here. You understand? Not unless you're on that league. On this other side, not unless you are a Somali oligarch. You are a Somali oligarch, you are importing sugar through Kismayu, so your margins are crazy. You're making like 1,000% profit on a kilo of sugar. You understand? Because you're not paying taxes in Kismayu, you're not paying taxes in Kenya. So your sugar, hata pesa ile ulitoa ikiwa Brazil, your sugar by the time inaingia kwa market has been inflated over and over. Whatever you're getting is real-time, solid liquidity. So not unless you're on that level where now you can sit down with Ruto. Kama nyinyi ni hawa watu wengine wadogo watu wa wash. And there's a quick $20 million to be made from one consignment shipped by a private jet. Ruto will throw you under the bus. Wewe ni nani? Unajiita anga nani? Ati wewe sijui nini? Utarushwa chini ya basi, my friend. So socialites, scammers, wash wankers, please join us in the movement, because your business has also been crushed in by these politicians, because they are too dumb to create wealth elsewhere. There are so many other opportunities they would do if they created a conducive environment for everyone to jump in. But me, if I had any intellectual property, I cannot share it with this government. I cannot share it with anyone in this regime. Why? Because I'm going to steal it and then show you the collective middle finger and tell you what to do. So because now there is a limitation, because the people are not sharing their ideas, because also the environment is not conducive. So now we are into the era of cannibalism. Sasa anakuja mali yuko anakufikia hapo chini. So the scammers used to your money used to circulate in the economy. You used to keep some shops which sell clothes and everything. You used to keep them afloat. And we want that money in the economy. I don't know, But now, sasa biashara yenu imeingiliwa na head of state. Sasa utafanya nini? You can't compete with him. He's in control of all the levers of the security apparatus. Amelipa nani? Amelipa akina Urdin. They can't do anything. Wewe ukijaribu kujigusisha kwa hiyo biashara kadil kamoja hivi, unaangukiwa na ma-DCI. Kama vile mimi niliangukiwa. Gari mbili, wanaume 10, mtu 10. Kila mtu mchuma. Kupiga tu mangumi. Mimi sasa nilipigwa juu ya nini? Juu ya tweets. Wewe sasa ukashikwa gold, my friend. Gold, umenyakua ya gold ya mkubwa, utaambiwa unajua hii biashara ni ya mkubwa because now we are approaching gangsterism. That is a gangster economy. Because the head gangster is the president himself. The head gangster ni mkuu wa majeshi. Amini jeshi mkuu. Rais William Ruto. He's the chief gangster. He's the chief gold smuggler. Me, I read that article. I'm very shocked. I saw a fat guy with Ruto. Nikashindwa, okay, who is this guy? Maybe. Kumbe gold bana imetoka huko Zimbabwe. And then wakaenda Abu Dhabi. If you saw the videos from Abu Dhabi, you saw the photos, it was very yani walikaa tu na huyo king, the ruler of UAE. They stayed with him for only a few minutes until that signing was done. Ruto was not invited for a state dinner. It's not like he was invited. So he had an extra 2-3 days. Niliwaona wamepiga picha na that fat guy. And then on the same length unasikia walikuwa wanauza nini? Walikuwa wanafanya deal ya wash. So everyone is at risk. Everyone needs to participate. Everyone needs to join in. Everyone needs to share this message. Spread the word that we need to be together. We need to boycott any employer who threatens to sack, who victimizes their employee for participating in their civic duty. My friend, if we get one memo from a HR manager, tupate memo hivi watu wameandikiwa wewe, you must come to work, it should be voluntary. If you want to go, stay at home. But if you victimize, sisi saa hii tunakuanika, my friend, hiyo duka yako, hiyo biashara yako, hiyo kampuni yako, tunaimaliza, tunafinish kumalo. Nisikie kampuni moja, I hear one company, one business, one nini supermarket ati mnaforce wafanyikazi wakuje. If they want to come, let it be voluntary. If you want to open, first of all, if you are business and you decide you're going to open, na tupate tu picha, mtu tu amepiga picha aseme, hey, Carrefour is open, hey, Java is open, hey, Art Cafe is open. Tuone ati zimefunguliwa. You're not joining us and you want our money? Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here. You want our money as a working class, which is who are being oppressed by the establishment that they are trying to fight. You want our money, but you don't want to participate. You want even to force your workers to show up on that day. Hey, sisi tukijua tu HR manager wa kampuni ati umeandika barua hivi ati workers wakuje, hiyo barua itufikie sisi, my friend. tuna circulate, boycott this company. Boycott. Because Kenyans have a right to participate in their civic duties. Government wanamkanga one day wanatengeneza holiday. Hatuwaulizangi, they wake up one day. Sijui kuna nini. There was a time, there was a month, I think we were given like 3 holidays. You're wondering what for? So if they can do it, why can't we? We are the people. Ni sisi. So, this is what you're going to do. In fact, we need now citizen reporting at its top. We need the citizens who are reporting. We need them. We need you on the ground. So that you tell us which shops are being opened. So that you tell us who is coercing who to appear or to show up at work. Because when we say we are having a national strike, it should be a concerted effort. You are going to be a beneficiary. There is no business that is going to gain when their prospective clientele are oppressed people, are broke people, are people who are not being paid their salaries on time because of cash flow issues, are people who are being deducted. Their taxes are getting to 37%, 49%. Every day they cook up a new tax. This shire and chief, they are not working. They are undermining the health and prosperity and well-being of your employees, of your workforce. When they go to hospital, every time you know all the delays they are facing and they are eating into your productivity cumulatively as a business community. So you're supposed to be at the forefront. You're not supposed to be undermining citizens' actions. You're not supposed even to talk. Ata HR man ufai kuongea, we nyamaza tu. But don't victimize anyone. Everyone, people have their civic duties. People have their civic responsibilities. People have, they are entitled to embark on whatever measures they think that will make the economy well, that will make the economy boom. So let not any HR manager even comment out this issue. We nyamaza tu. We endelea na kazi yako. Don't talk about it. Don't issue threats, because if we get that memo like this hivi ati mumeandika, my friend, kampuni yenyu tunashuka nayo, tunaanguka nayo. We are shukaing that shit. Yeah? So these are amongst the measures that we are going to embark on. They told you, now is not the time for you, ati before Monday, sasa ati uende ununue mzinga mbili, ati ukae umekunywa. No, stay without drinking that mzinga. You are talking about sugar. We're talking about Somali oligarchs. We're talking about this sugar that they are able to fund. Because I told you William Ruto is a high-grade commercial sex work. He can take any amount of money. William Ruto anapenda pesa kujiliko. He loves money. He sees money, he starts shaking. So William Ruto can whatever, the money, the obsession with money, this obsession with money will make him accept and bend over backwards for anyone who presents it in front of him. So we have these people, these importers. First of all, they pay the government, and then they bribe the MPs to pass laws which make it difficult, which make it expensive to produce locally. So here, when you go to grow something, when you open your company, when you open even your store, your restaurant, your what, everything is just being met with high production prices, pushing you out of the value chain. Why? Because they've been paid by somebody. And so we had zeroed in on Somali oligarchs. Why? Not because we hate the community. In fact, the community is reeling under the weight of the oligarchy and how they have been oppressed over the years. They've been oppressed. You can see the leadership, even after receiving over 2 trillion in devolution funds. Since the advent of devolution, the Northern Frontier districts, they contribute 0 to the Kenyan GDP. 0. Yet they have the noisiest activists on the media. They have Ahmed Nasir. Ahmed Nasir cannot let us drink our beers in peace, pretending that he's the next best thing after sliced bread. He every day he pretends that he's a genius. Now that he has gathered so much courage that he even wants to take over the judiciary. But it's not him, it's the people behind him. Because think of it like this. These guys, first of all, they captured parliament. Vale was the leader of majority. Junet was the leader of the opposition side, minority. Through them, they were able to bribe MPs to pass laws which have been unfavorable to domestic producers, to domestic farmers. Anything that is produced locally in Kenya, they touched and meddled. They just came up with laws to favor who? To favor importers. So they captured parliament. EACC, they have their people there. They captured it. IEBC, it is captured. DCI, Mohammed Amin, captured. NIS, Nurdin Haji, captured. KDF, Aden Duale, CS of Defense, captured. Now they are becoming more ambitious, greedy and more ambitious. Now let's take down the judiciary. Ooh, hey, Ahmed Nasir, come here. Kapa, let's wage a hate campaign against Mother Kome. Yes, the judiciary is corrupt. The judiciary is very corrupt, but it won't be purged. It won't be reformed at the terms of oligarchs. It won't be reformed at the behest of thugs, of barons, a cabal of thieves. We cannot mortgage our country's heritage, our country's sovereignty, our culture, the fabric of our society. We shall not mortgage it. We have seen them turn Nairobi CBD upside down because what did they do? They went and paid Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta, that faggot, that idiot. He was paid to erect Alcoblo. So they had Alcoblo on every entry point in Nairobi. It was where? There was one in Parklands. There was one on Uhuru Highway. There is one on Langata Road on this side. There is one on Mombasa Road. They literally choked all the traffic coming into Nairobi. And so the nightlife died because all the hotels, all the people who used to come to Nairobi stopped going to Nairobi. That's why you will keep on making noise about bars in residential areas. But in the last 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that wasn't the case. Because there were no bars in the residential area. All the bars were Nairobi CBD. So they killed CBD. They killed the streetlights. Because killing the streetlights, first of all, is a deterrent. So insecurity goes up. And then they forced the cops to be patrolling the streets of Nairobi. These cops, when they patrol, they actually implement an unofficial curfew. So you're being arrested from 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. for loitering. And we are supposed to be in a progressive era where we are embracing 24-hour economy. You understand? So they killed all the traffic into CBD. All the bars that we used to love going. You remember them, Dodis. There used to be, I don't know, there was Dodis, there was Tanaja, there was Wine Bar, there was all the beautiful places we used to love to go. There was Simas, there was Florida, F2 and F1, there was New Veranda, there was what? All those places we used to love to go, suddenly all of them became Somali restaurants. And this is not at the community, because even when Somalis go to those restaurants, they are not sold food for free. They are not given food for free. They are sold for, like the rest of us. But it's a clique which wanted to gentrify Nairobi. But they are using, unconventional means, because they cannot thrive in a competitive environment. I told you competition scares the weakest. That's why they resort to such underhand, under the table tactics. That's why I told you someone like Boniface Mwangi, the activist, he's scared about good governance because he has nothing else to offer humanity. He has no known skills. He has no intellect. He only knows how to sell out. Selling out is his currency. Selling out is his only strategy to survive. So he is threatened that a good governance structure will condemn him to irrelevance, will condemn him to brokenness, and he won't afford to take his children to Brook House. So what does he do? He can only sell out. He can only undermine mass movements. So it's the same with these people, because they cannot thrive in a merit-oriented environment. Now they have to bend systems and processes to their favor. First of all, they have to ensure that their people are in key positions. And how do they get there? They find pliable politicians who have garnered their mandate from the people, but then now turn their backs on the very people who elected them to go and serve vested interests. So you have William Ruto, a commercial sex worker, somebody who loves money even more than money itself. He can be bought by anybody. He can be bought by anything that is moving. He's given money like this. Which position? He just throws them there. Pick the position you want. Who are you? Nurdin Haji. Nurdin Haji sits down with David B and all these other guys, and then they say, let's go for these bloggers. Let's go for this. I told you, motherfuckers, me, I was not an activist. I'm going to do this full time now. I'm going to do this full time. Me, I was okay. You make your own money, but now you're even rocking up. You're coming to my house and then breaking the door, punching me because of tweets, because you think you're God's gift to humanity, because you think you're called Nurdin Haji, and your father was Yusuf Haji, the Rift Valley commissioner. He used to perpetuate ethnic cleansing in the Rift Valley at the behest of Daniel Arap Moi when nothing was done to him, and you think we are still living in the same era. You still think that just because you have bribed the journalists and your name is not in circulation, we are going to forget. We are going to unsee all the crimes that you've done. We are going to forget that there are over 200 Kenyans, 300 Kenyans who have died, other 100 missing. You have 30 people who are said to be in the black sites that you are holding, the young boys that we fought for, we called for their release the other day. And you think we are in that era. Shame on you. Shame on you, my brother. I feel pity for you because we can't continue like this. We can't. You can abduct the son of a CS. If you can abduct the son of a CS, what about me? What about me now? What about me? I'm just an ordinary Kenyan. I have no godfather. I have no what? What would you do to me? And we are supposed to be hearing that news and just celebrating and acting like life is normal. Well, maybe other people would, not me. Maybe other people would, not me. So we have seen that there is a source. And I always tell you, follow the money. Follow the money, and now we've zeroed in on Somali oligarchs. We've zeroed in on these people who are shipping stuff through Kismayu port, find their way to Garissa, duty free. Because of that sugar, we are going through all this trouble. Because of their money. They are hearing that William Ruto is going to leave office, and they are going bonkers. They are going crazy. And so they can activate their money to ensure William Ruto remains, because they need a pliable, they need an agreeable, they need an acquiescible president who will take their money and serve their interests. So they can go through great lengths to get their will, to have their way. And so we are seeing, like when those cops came to my house, I was very confused. I was extremely conflicted because it did not seem like ordinary police work. These guys were personal. These guys were very angry. They were very angry when they were punching me. They were very angry. I asked them, nimekukosea wewe nini? Kuna mahali nimekula bibi yako hapana? Nimekula msichana wako hapana? Why you being so brutal with me? You're already 10 of you, so I can't do anything. But the brutality and the anger these people had, it was not normal. And that can only come from money. They had been incentivized to come and arrest me. Even now I hear they've been given incentives. Whoever gets me will get 10 million shillings or something, or a promotion. They've been incentivized. So this money is coming from somewhere, because it's not our taxes, obviously. This money is coming from somewhere. And I have deduced that it is coming from Somali oligarchs. And so one of the measures that we are going to take right now is we are going to cut our dependence on sugar. Because if this sugar, this sweet sugar, is the one bringing bitterness to our mouths, bitterness to our lives, causing us. For me, within the last 3 months, I've not been living. I've not been interacting with anyone. I've been underground for what? In my own fucking country? And I'm being done this by foreigners, by people from a neighboring country who want to come and capture our country. If you go to Tanzania right now, they put checks and balances which are keeping out foreigners from investing in that country. Any country, even South Africa, once they go there, they are told, no, there are limitations to the amount of property you can get. There are all those limitations. Why are we being made to feel like we are refugees in our own fucking country? Because there is this people, there is this group, there is this cluster, small cluster of people. And I told you one thing. If the British financial system expunged Russian oligarchs, why can't we have that conversation? They are trying to say that, oh, Francis Gaitho, oh, you're one, oh, you're targeting the community. Even the community knows themselves how their leaders, how their elites have fucked them over, have shafted them left, right, and center, have fucked them sideways. Their community knows. So we cannot speak about this. I am a refugee in my own fucking country because of Nurdin Haji and Mohammed Amin. And because William Ruto will never sack them because he has been paid. He has been paid a lot of money. He'll never sack them. So it's us now. Are we going to continue like this? Nurdin Haji can abduct people. There is not even a single member of parliament other than Senator Medo of Nyandarua who has called for his removal. There is not a single MP who can speak. They have captured our entire infrastructure, our entire checks and balances. They have captured it. And we are supposed to live like it's normal. No, fuck with their money. It's the money. Follow the money. It's always about the money with these guys. It's not about liberty or constitutionalism. No, it's about the money. They have an interest. Those positions that Mohammed Amin and Nurdin Haji are holding have been bought for by other people. Have been paid for to serve their interests. So, let's start. Cut your dependence on sugar. We have seen that this sugar is the one which is financing bad governance. That they can arrest, they can first abduct peaceful protesters. They can arrest bloggers just for tweeting. Things that even Nurdin Haji himself never condoned when he was in the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. I swear, go and read. Nurdin Haji is the one who used to recall those cases. He's the one who used to throw them out. But now that he's in there, but we understand that he's only projecting the depravity and mental impotence of William Ruto. But still, there's some limitations. You're turning us, people who we were never active, you're turning us into activists, and you think you're gonna win? He's sending 10 fucking policemen in my fucking house. With 2 cars. You're sending them for what? Because of tweets. The policemen come, they punch me, they kick me to the ground. What? They frog march me without my shoes, put me in the trunk of their car. Because I've killed who? Because I've raped who? Because I've done what? Have I stolen anything? No, this Somali entitlement has to be put to a halt, has to be brought to a halt once and for all. Because this is Nurdin Haji and Mohammed Amin. And they are working at the behest of the sugar cartels. The oligarchs. These are the ones who are flooding the political establishment with money. Our MPs cannot speak. They cannot raise an issue. They cannot even convene a press conference just to call for the removal of these characters. Even when the evidence has been laid bare. Even when a cabinet secretary himself is saying that his son was abducted in conjunction with these thugs. So we have to, at some point, we have to say enough is enough as a people. We have to reject this bullshit. And you're speaking from a victim perspective. You're hearing from a victim's perspective. You're hearing it from me. That when those police when they broke into my house, the anger that they had was not normal. I will hold that image forever in my mind. It will never leave my mind. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized by that experience because these guys were angry. I don't know why they were angry. If you look at the CCTVs which were shared, you'll see the way they are pushing me. They are making me walk. You'd think I had stolen something. There was another incentive, and that incentive was money. One of the policemen even took a photo of me so that he can go and claim money. He can go and claim money because, oh, we have got most wanted criminal. Oh, it's time for the bounty. Pay the bounty to us. These are the characters that you're dealing with. They are ready to suspend the law, and once they get to the judiciary, that's why Ahmed Nasir wants to capture the judiciary so that they can have even pliable judges. You go there, it's a formality. The case you've already tried and the ruling issued behind closed doors. So we shall not reform. We shall not overhaul the judiciary at Ahmed Nasir's terms. No, we are going to do it at our terms. Because this has become too much. So you hear the business people in CBD, you're always holding us hostage. Oh, maandamano inaharibu biashara. Oh, maandamano. You even hire goons. Sasa ni sisi tulikuwa kukata hizo signboard zenyu. Is it us? Sini serikali yewe. Had we toppled the government, had we combined, had we collaborated our efforts together, mufunge kazi, tuangushe Zakayo, sahi you'd be living a different reality right now. You'd be enjoying. Niliona msichana mwingine hapo anaitwa Janet Brenda, our friend on X. Janet Brenda amesema vile nyumba yake anatoa CCTV, the TV was stolen and her camera was stolen in Nairobi. And that Janet Brenda was a speaker, was a panelist in the space that William Ruto had. It was hosted by this silly little prick called Osama Otero, Kevin Monari. Kevin Monari, wherever you are, you're an idiot. I don't know how your parents feel giving birth to a stupid person like you. So, that Jane was there. Janet Brenda was there. She had been one of the people who had been staged by Osama Otero. And then her place is vandalized. Her place is looted. Her place is stolen by burglars. Because the economy now, the amount of billions that William Ruto has stolen just between June 25th and today, because he has this feeling that he's going to go, would be circulating in the economy, and life would be slightly better. It would not be the best, but it would be slightly better. We would not be having people, because there are all these cases of burglaries going on. I can see everyone just complaining. I saw even Okoth Vicky. There's this musician, Kakamega Records, Okoth Vicky. His house was vandalized and stuff was stolen. He has not even been able to release beats, and they are stealing gadgets which have all your intellectual property. You see, we cannot continue like this. If you had allowed this revolution to happen on June 25th, we could be living a different reality. You could be living your best lives, all because you didn't want to sacrifice, all because you were told to go home by Boniface Mwangi. Boniface Mwangi himself is on the payroll of the government. He can afford school fees for his children in Brookhouse, and you're struggling. You are at the risk of being vandalized in your house by thugs, by burglars. Caliph Cairo is being dared insolvent. He can take a photo there with Jalas and whatever. At the end of the day, you're still insolvent, my brother. However much you're trying to show that you have some social capital or something, you are still declared insolvent. You're still unable to pay your debts. Why? Because you took 100,000 telling people to occupy State House. What is now, imagine now if Ruto had gone, you could be living a totally different reality by now. But you kids don't want to listen. You guys, you think the sun shines up your ass. You young kids, you think you're hot shots and you don't know what you are doing. That's why I saw Cop Shakur is going there. No, this is not the time to fight. It's your time ya kuonyeshana kifua. This is not the time for brawn. This is the time for brains. You have to be smart about how we are approaching, because we've seen they cannot allow us to protest. They cannot allow us to congregate. They cannot allow us to, even a single person, once you go and protest, you're arrested. So knowing all of that, now we have to change tact, because there are many tactics in the book. I posted a link there. You're going to see how different ways of toppling a dictator. There's so many strategies. And one of them is this one that we are embarking on from Monday, January 27th, where we are saying, you are going to have a national strike. So you stay at home. Don't go and protest. Stay at home. Don't spend money. If you that day, just spend it just tweeting the hashtags that we are going to release on that day. Just tweet the issues of bad governance. Let's crowdsource. Let's discuss. Let's make our issues heard around the world. Because we cannot continue like this. We are reducing our dependence on these consumables, the ones which are taxed and tax deductible. We are reducing because we want to hemorrhage. We want to ensure that this government goes broke. Today you saw in the Business Daily of today, they are saying that the uptake of domestic loans, loans for individuals, has sunk to a Moi era low. 2 weeks ago, the same paper has written that construction in Kenya has sunk to Moi era low. Now, what happened during the Moi era? When things went south, the Kenyans at the time were able to immigrate quickly to Boston, to America, to wherever, to London, to even Botswana. They were able to immigrate quickly because there was that demand for foreign labor, for foreign workers. But now, all these other countries where people used to migrate to, they've embarked on a series of, entry barriers. You saw Trump talking last night. He was talking about what? Oh, we are going to seal the border with Mexico and whatnot. And so they are no longer welcoming to immigrants. So you have nowhere to run to, unlike the generation of the past years. Then they had the luxury of running away to another country. Us, we don't. This is our only place where we can stay. And we have to make it work. Because where are we going now? Where will you go? You won't go. If you go to the American embassy, they don't even want to see us there. You are given an appointment, I don't know, in 6 months, 8 months. Or you go to this one. They don't want us anywhere. So it's up to us to fix our country. Are you ready to walk the journey, or are you going to sit there and wait for William Ruto to trample on you? Because that's where he's headed. You can see his people the way, and they open their mouth. There's Farah Malim, there's Aden Duale. Those people are, wanaongea hivyo ni joto ya pesa kwa sababu they are connected, they are intertwined with the Somali oligarchs who import sugar. Hiyo ni joto ya pesa. And every time we react, every time we show them that we are aware of our constitutional rights, they respond with a lot of anger and bitterness because we are encroaching into their livelihoods, into their lifeline, into their money lines. So their anger is not really because they are protecting Ruto, it's because they are protecting their money. Because Ruto, on the other hand, is guaranteeing them that if you stand with me politically, then I will protect your business interests. So since we cannot run away, since we cannot go to a different country, ladies and gentlemen, we have to fight it out here. And now we fight it out with our brains. We are not fighting with our... Boniface Mwangi used to tell you ati tokea na simu, flag na maji. That's rubbish. He was literally setting you guys up to die. We cannot do that anymore. So now we have to play it smart. Now we are going on a national strike. Reduce your spending on consumer. We ensure that the government, if you used to buy something which you can buy in the black market, or which you can make for yourself, or which you can, God knows what, do that, as opposed to buying something from the supermarket which will earn the government money. So on Monday, the mantra, there are 3 things which you are not supposed to do. On Monday, January 27th, it's a national strike. No school, no work, no biashara. 3 things. No school, no work, no biashara. Fanya hivi. No school, no work, no biashara. Fanya hivyo. Do it after me. Fanya hivyo. Angalia simu yako ama uambie your neighbor after Monday, January 27th. National strike. No school, no work, no biashara. If you think that you're smart enough and you want to open your business, and we just happen to see you open it, my friend, we are your customers. And we have decided that we are tired of being oppressed, and we are going to send a message. Everyone uses silent protest in their own way, even in your own homes. When you have an issue with your partner, si mnanyamaziana. So sisi hatuwezi nyamazia serikali. No, it's our way of expressing protest. Mtoto wako saa hii akikukosea, you're going to utamfungia pesa. If he wanted you to buy them something or to take them somewhere, si utafungia because amekuwa mjeuri, amekuwa nini. So it's the same way. Even you lock your money. It cannot be that you spend subconsciously throwing money at the same government that is oppressing you. No, something's gotta give. So if it's water, kama ni maji, badala ununue maji ile yenye tozwa ushuru, Boil your own water. Think of creative ways of evading tax so that next month when KRA are announcing, we want to see those figures going down and down. We want to see government unable to, because once they are unable to do some things, we know what will happen next. Ni hawatakosa pesa ya kulipa majeshi na wakose pesa ya kulipa polisi, and then things will happen. Things will happen. Niliambia polisi, I was on this live stream. I told them, please, nyi polisi achani kuingilia protest za Wamasai. Achani kufanya kiburi. Wakaenda huko. Niliona mmoja amekatwa mkono. Somebody tried to DM me ati share this. You know it's not good what the police did. Fuck you. The police have been killing innocent protesters since June. They've been raiding our houses, and you expect me to have sympathy for them? Fuck you. That's how to protest. The way the Maasais did it, that's how to protest. When eventually we get there, because we are building momentum for that, relax. We will get there at our own time, at our own convenience. It will happen. Kwani the people of Elbagon, when Richard Raymond Otieno was murdered by Kuria Kimani and William Ruto and Mongeke Maina Jenga, when he was murdered, see, guys, you know, it was spontaneous. Guys spontaneously went off to protest, and they picked his body from the mortuary. I don't know whether they were able to get it to Kuria Kimani's house. The idea would have been to go to Kuria Kimani's house and burn it. Because why is he killing somebody? Why should his house be allowed to stand in peace while he's killing your own people? So the protest will happen, and they'll be spontaneous. Nobody will wake up and say, oh no. It will happen. Musikue na wasiwasi. Yeah? So that's it. You have to think that this is a long run. This is a long game. We have to play smart, and we have to be strategic, but we have to move together. So on Monday, January 26th, is a national strike. Please do not go to school. Please do not go to work. Please do not open your biashara. You've seen now, William Ruto has onboarded Maina Jenga, the Mongeke leader. If you know one thing, Mongeke, what they are about, because I've seen many of you don't know your history. Many of you don't know who Mongeke are. Many of you talk about Maina Jenga and call him chairman. I see the TikTokers calling him chairman and worshipping him. Mongeke refers to people who have first of all, they have severe and deep-seated contempt for women. That's why Maina Jenga went and stormed a function overseen by a woman. And who was that? It was Pastor Dorcas Gachagua. They have a deep-seated contempt for women. That's why they advocate for things like female circumcision. They say women don't wear short skirts. They say women, we don't want to see your hair. You have to cover it up. Over and above that, all businesses, like now during the war, all the businesses used to pay some hidden tax to Mongeke. All the transport sector, the matatus, they used to pay to Mongeke. They used to man all the matatu terminals. Now we have the tuk-tuks and the boda-bodas. You will be Mongeke's bitches. If you don't join us, if you don't participate in these protests that we are calling, if you don't participate in these national strikes that we are calling, you will be Mongeke's bitches. Let me remind you, in 2015, there was a protest, My Dress, My Choice. My Dress, My Choice in Nairobi CBD. There was that protest. What had happened? A lady was dropped in the railways bus terminus. She was wearing a skirt and heels. And what did those Mongekes do? They stripped her and she was naked. I need to remind you so that when I tell you we participate in a national strike, you know that the stakes are very high. This is your living. This is your life and death. They are now introducing gangs. You've already seen, you saw that MP called Dan Wanyama talking about Kikuyus, that we need to isolate Kikuyus. If we isolate Kikuyus and the rest of they cannot win, that kind of language, that kind of inflammatory rhetoric, that language, we had it even when before the Rwanda genocide. What happened was that the Tutsis And the moderate Hutus, they were profiled, they were called cockroaches. In local dialect, it means Ienze. Go and Google it right now. They first start by demonizing a community before they visit, before they make an atrocity on them. They first start by demonizing them. So now they have started demonizing Kikuyus, not because Kikuyus have stolen your devolution funds, not because your fellow Kikuyu has done anything for you or against you, for political expediency, because they thrive in our divisiveness. They thrive in our division. They thrive in tribalism. They have tried throwing the tribalism strategy. It's not working. Now they have seen they balkanize and isolate one community. It's still not working. Because me, I was shocked, first of all, that the person who killed Richard Raymond, is a Luo. He's called Richard Raymond Otieno. I was shocked to see he's a Luo. And he was in Molo. Molo, you know, is a stronghold of Kikuyus. And they were even more angry. They are the ones who are going to ban Kuria Kimani's house. So tribalism ended on June 25th. If anyone has not got the memo, please get it now. Tribalism ended on June 25th. Now we only have one enemy. Our one enemy is the political establishment. You may try and talk. You may do all that garbage that you want up there. Our enemy right now is solely and primarily the political establishment, and we are coming for you. Tunamkujia. Dan Wanyama, you talk all your damn shit that you want. Nobody, what wanasikiza hapa ikitoka hapa. You'll notice, you see even from the people who are there in your, nobody is cheering you. Nobody is agreeable to your sentiments. Then we have Uhuru Kenyatta. Let me tell you, this movement, the hardest part I've told you is fighting the people who want to hijack it. I have spent more energy for fighting people or warding off encroachers, opportunists, than even the regime that we are trying to fight. Now William Ruto goes and then he says, oh, Gena, you should join the Gen Zs. You think he likes Gen Zs? This motherfucker left Kenya with a 9.8 trillion debt. Uhuru Kenyatta doesn't care about us. Some of you are too naive to even think that we need him. We don't need him. He's here to insinuate himself. And I told you, they start throwing around the names of their children so that their children, it becomes conditioned. Jomo Kenyatta used to go everywhere with Uhuru. Somehow Uhuru's name was in circulation in the 80s, in the 90s. Even when we were in school, we were hearing Uhuru's name. I thought Uhuru was a very sophisticated guy. Kumbe was just another cocaine addict who drinks and smokes all day. I thought he was a very sophisticated guy. And his name had been in circulation. Even the teachers to tell us in school, Mama Ngina is the biggest landowner, and we were beat out as if it's a good thing. This is a chick who was a trophy wife. She was picked up from the village, come and become first lady, and suddenly you're the biggest landowner in the country. And we're being taught in school, in GHC. And then Uhuru, his name there. His name had always been in circulation. Oh, Uhuru, oh, Uhuru. So people knew, just like Uhuru did last week when he went for that funeral service. He was throwing Gena's name so that it can remain in your memory. And because many of you are stupid people, you're stupid idiots, some of you even started creating memes. Oh, comparing Gena to Charlene, or who is the best first daughter. Oh, you started doing that. Even I saw one person there saying, oh, Gena can make a good future president. Are you crazy? We are done away with these oligarchs. We are done away with these families. Anyone who has been in the political establishment, we need them gone. We need never to hear their names ever again. So they plant these seeds, and you take the bait, and the media is there to complement that message, to amplify it. I'm here to warn you that the revolution is your baby. You need to seal it. You need to insulate it from encroachment, from these people who want to ride it. I saw Okia Omtata. There's somebody at Okia Omtata. I saw somebody there posting some flyer of some book. Was it some book or some paper? Okia Omtata and the Gen Z factor. And then the photo they have taken is him running inside some tear gas canister or something, which was just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's the first time he's ever come out for protest. And suddenly he's the one who has shaped the Gen Z factor. Fuck you, Okia Omtata. You are not there in June. This thing started in June. Where were you in June? Where were you when we were talking about children who are missing? Where were you? You are nowhere to be seen. So please, stop being an opportunist. You Have your own political capital, numbers. Stop riding on the Gen Z. Gen Zs have their own identity, which is devoid of that influence that you're trying to impose. You can go and you can run on the tribal factor because you seem to be still connected to these oligarchs and whatnot. You seem to be known to them and whatnot. So you can go and have your own identity there. You don't have to ride on other people's work where you haven't toiled, you haven't invested. Just because you have a committee of young people does not mean that now you have co-opted all the young people in Kenya in your committee by default. No, my friend. Fanya kazi kama watu wengine. Build your own capital. Carve your own niche. So thank you very much. Let's continue discussing. Thank you. I've tried to give you at least 1.5 hours. Thank you very much to the TikTokers who share my stuff. Thank you very much to those accounts. Sometimes I may not remember them offhand, but I know there is Gen Z Revolution. There is the other one. There is Mbanya. Mbanya, thank you very much. Mbanya, thank you very much. Wairimo Mokoro. Everyone who shares my content, I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much to the people we are with on X. Asante sana. Let's keep on talking. Let's keep on engaging. January 27th, Monday. That is the coming Monday. National strike. No school. No school, no work, no biashara.